Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Josh Beatar and Alex Goldman here for From the Stands. And today we're very luckily joined by our old pal, good buddy, Tan Lee, who is back in action October 6th, looking to claim the one interim featherweight title. Tan, it's always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure to get your time. Thank you very much. First things first, how are things with you?
Doing good. Thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, for sure. Excited about this one. This one's going to be a banger, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I was doing some research on your opponent. Obviously, he's a former K1 and Muay Thai world champion. And on paper, it would seem that he's going to try and keep this fight standing. You would imagine use those strengths, I would think. But where do you see advantages in this fight? For you, will this be a fight that you will try and look to grapple? Will you try and keep it on the feet? What sort of advantages do you think you can play to?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of advantages. A lot on the feet and a lot on the ground. So we kind of have the whole playbook to kind of play with in this fight. And I think he's a dangerous opponent. He's very, very good. He's done some really good things so far in his two fights with one. And it's been impressive. So it's going to be a fun challenge to be able to go up against. It's been a really good short camp so far. But we're at a place right now where I feel like our weapons are sharp, sharp, sharp. Our decision making is in the right place. Um, yeah, so I feel really good about the matchup. I think we've got a lot of places that the fight could go. So if he's not prepared, I think there'll be a few surprises for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Can you kind of, talk us through, how you sort of found out about this interim title fight? When did you sort of get wind that this was, going to go down? Because, obviously until the announcement, it was kind of looking like they were going to go with, the Tang rematch. But when did you, kind of hear that this was going to go down and this was the plan?
Yeah, I actually yeah, I messaged Tenkai a few times. He commented that he was ready to go on a couple of posts, and yeah, so I thought that was gonna happen as well. It doesn't look like he's cleared, so they needed to do something with the division.
Mm.
So obviously Ilya's done some good things in the division. He earned a spot to fight for the interim title. In my head, obviously, it was the right choice since I was already booked for the
Yeah.
rematch. So it just made sense. I'm glad he's the guy that I've got to get through to get this strap around my waist again, um, because it's the reason we talk about this in interviews all the time. It's the reason I do this is to fight the biggest and
Of
baddest
course.
dudes, the scariest and most skilled, and those types of guys. And it's awesome to be able to see a guy in Ilya and see what he's done so far to a guy who's been champ for years, somebody else who's a tough opponent and has no quit in him. So it's good to be able to go up against meaningful
Mm.
opponents. You don't want to get this belt as like a sidestep. You don't want to miss anybody on the way to being what you think is the best in the world, and that's why you have the belt. So, obviously, this is the next step in that piece. And then the interim title is we all know it's not the
Mm.
title. We know there is a title holder. So if and when we do get this temporary strap around us, that just guarantees us a rematch and that title shot. So um, it's all moving in the right direction.
Definitely. I think you guys must all have that same mindset. But you and Corey, I know Corey Sandhagen definitely has that mindset of wanting to fight the best before he gets to that title. Like he's echoed that many times throughout the years. So I do appreciate that you guys all we're on the same path there. Tan, has it been nice having some time away? I know it was August 26th when you guys fought last year, and there was meant to be the fight in July with Tankai, and that sort of got moved now. But overall, in turn, has it been a positive having a bit of extended time off to work on things and really get yourself in a good mindset and physically and mentally?
Um, yeah. So I guess in hindsight, you always make the best out of any situation
Yeah,
because what are you going to do? Just sit there and bitch
yeah,
about it, you know?
yeah,
But no, it's ideally it would have been a quicker turnaround. That didn't work out that way, so we always do our best to make the best out of the situation, adding tools to the toolbox, adding strategy
yeah,
adjustments and things like that that we need to always improve on and try to get better and better. That's just the name of the game, right?
yeah,
But no, ideally it would have been a quicker turnaround.
yeah,
I feel like I'm in a place now that I'm the best I've ever been, so I'm trying to show that. I'm trying to make it count. I'm trying to get these fights. I'm trying to get these title fights. I'm trying to get these rematches. I'm trying to defend the belt. The whole nine. I'm not getting any younger, so we're trying to roll through it and make sure we accomplish the goals that we set out. And like I said, as it's happening and in hindsight, you're always trying to make the best out of every situation possible. But ideally, it would have been a little quicker of a turnaround.
Yep.
You kind of talked about it there, you're chasing these title fights, you're chasing, the toughest opponents. So I'm curious then, for you, is the focus at the moment more the pathway to the belt, or are you more wanting that Tang rematch sort of more at the moment? What's sort of the focus?
I mean, the good thing is that it's the same, right?
Yeah.
So he still got the belt. So being focused on the rematch means you're going to go get that or attempt to get that belt. So I guess I haven't separated it in my mind because it is one piece.
Yeah.
But this does a little bit of the separation, right? Because both things are important to me. Mm-hmm. But definitely the rematch would be at the top of the list. I lost that fight in a way that didn't quite feel we were finished. Obviously, he won the fight. He won scoring with those leg kicks. We've all seen the fight. But we're not quite done yet. We need round 6. And like I said before, it's not going to make it till 10.
Yeah.
But that's important. That's important to me. I want to fight the best guys. And here we go. Nobody in one has beaten me yet. And this guy just got a decision on me. So it's time to get that back. Do we have to jump through a hoop to get there? Of course. So the sights are 100% focused on this obstacle in front of me. And if and when we get past this guy, he's on the hit list, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Tan, I know no fighter especially likes looking past their opponents, and like you just mentioned, that's what your sole focus is. And I definitely respect and understand that. My question though for you would be, considering everything goes well against Ilya on October 6th, ideally, how quick of a, you talked about it before about, quick turnarounds, and ideally, in an ideal world, a quick turnaround would be nice. So how quick of a turnaround would you like to fight Tang? Obviously, I know you'd be, sort of dictated by his injury and that sort of stuff, but how quick of a timeline for you personally would you like to get back in and fight for the undisputed title?
Pretty quick. I mean, we're talking about everything situational based, right? So obviously we got to get past this big bad guy in front of us. Once that happens, we've got some U.S. cards that are supposed to happen in 2024. I've heard rumors. I don't know anything, of course. But let's get on the first one. Let's get on the first one in the U.S. and unify this belt and do it in front of a home crowd and put on a fucking show.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. So, Tan, when we speak to different fighters, we ask them, sort of what legacy they're looking to leave behind. We get a lot of different answers. Some fighters want to be remembered for putting on the most entertaining fights, sort of the most fan-friendly fights. Other fighters sort of want to be remembered as, being the GOAT, being the greatest. What legacy are you looking to leave behind, in the minds of the fans of the sport?
I don't think too much about that, honestly. The legacy that has been and focused on from day one is taking care of my family, making sure that everybody's set up for the future, making sure that we, don't have to worry about, checking the bank account before we have to go out and buy some groceries. You know what I mean? That is immediate family. That's mom, dad, that's brother, that's the whole team. That's the legacy within that inner circle that matters to me most. And then however people remember me, they remember me. I've got people now that have positive opinions about me and negative opinions about me, and none of that matters. I don't give a shit about any of that. I care about me. I care about how I feel about myself, because nobody could judge me harder than I judge myself. But nobody's got the knowledge about me and my decisions more than me. So that should be the most honest judge possible, right? And I know I don't cut corners on judgment. I know I don't cut corners on the way I approach things. So I try to, approach things the right way, in my opinion, the best way, and like I said, not cutting any corners. So the opinions of my close friends and family matter. My coaches, my close team, and taking care of those guys. That's the legacy that I want my kids to remember, and for people to remember me for. And if they don't, and if the fans don't remember me, then there's a lot of people to focus on. If they don't remember me, then so be it.
Definitely. Tan, last couple of questions, man. We won't keep you too long today, but I know you're back in Thailand. It's the first time since 2020. I know you fought there 2020 and 2019, but you're fighting in Lumpini Boxing Stadium, which is it's a very prestigious name. Definitely, it's the cornerstone of Muay Thai over the world. So for you, what does it mean to you to be back, fighting in Thailand with a country that has such a rich history for martial arts?
There's a couple of things that stand out. The fans, phenomenal. Amazing. Walking down the street is amazing. Greeting these guys on a daily basis and talking to everybody pre and post fight. These guys are real martial arts fans, and I love it. It's amazing to feel their energy in the stadium, out on the streets, or walking through the malls or whatever. Yeah. And then obviously, fighting in Lumpini is a bucket list check off the old checklist. So that's awesome. That was definitely high on the list, and I'm very glad to be able to compete in that stadium. Yeah. And hopefully, not hopefully, we're going to put on a firework of a show, but hopefully we come out on top and get another knockout on that finish rate.
Yeah, for sure. And, Tom, last question for me is, I wanted to know, are there any sort of, amateur fighters or low-level pros that, you've been working with that, already you feel are going to be, something big in the sport, whether, it's their personality, whether it's, their fighting skills. Are there any sort of amateur fighters or pros that you've been working with that don't have a name yet that you feel could be something big in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, we've got my guy, there's a few teams that I work with. I'm in Virginia right now, so a few guys here at 50-50 are up and coming. There's some that are well established, and there's some that might be not as known as they should be, but are starting to get some exposure. So there's a ton of different guys. There's my team in New Orleans has some real hitters that got that dog in them. So we've got some guys coming up. I don't want to jinx anybody and throw any names out there, but I will talk about a buddy of mine, Carlos Vera, who started this journey with me. He was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
this current season. Did an excellent, had an excellent showing, and we're waiting to see what's next for him. But you guys keep an eye out for him, because once he gets the attention he deserves, it's going to be to the top, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Tan, thank you very much for joining us today, man. We always appreciate you giving us some time. And, man, I know that Josh and I are really looking forward to seeing you fight for that interim title, and we're going to have to talk to you after the fight.
Yeah, you guys hit me up. We'll do an interview. I'll have this big old belt behind me, and we'll celebrate together.
Sounds good. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it, brother.
Awesome, man. Thank you, guys.